My next guest is a senior leader in the business that I thought it was worth getting them on and having a little chat about how they started, how they moved through the ranks, what they've done in a previous career, etc. So let me welcome James Collett.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you for having me, Charles.
How are you, mate?
Good, thank you. Yourself?
Very well. I thought it was worth just chatting about your origin, like your story and what you did to get to where you are today. Obviously, the whole podcast is built around that, giving a shit, but also telling people like how they did it, because people watching are enthused by how do I get to that next point. And so starting out, what was that like for you? Leaving school, what?
Before I left school, I started about 200 yards away from here. First job at the Checkers. Learned to be a chef.
Good booze of that, strong.
Decent beer,
Yeah.
decent food.
Yeah.
And the key reason behind it really was I always wanted to go into hospitality originally. And I felt obviously running the kitchen and running the restaurant, I need to know what the chefs do. If I'm managing people, I need to know what they do as their job. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to be a chef. I never wanted to be a chef, but
You wanted to understand.
Yeah, when I'm younger, it's a bit of extra money. I'm going to get paid more than washing plates. So I'm trying to be a chef.
Nothing wrong with a pot wash, by the way.
No, there's
pot
nothing
wash,
right. That's where you started out.
Oh, strong position that, mate.
So I did that for a couple of years whilst I was still at school. I only went to school for 3 days a week in year 10 and 11. The other day I spent in college, and the other day I spent at the restaurant itself learning.
Okay.
And then once I finished there, I went to sixth form, learnt business, some maths.
Was that any good?
It was okay.
Was that okay because the education was okay, or was that because James wasn't?
No, I didn't want to be there, but I knew I had to be there for my next step.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to go to uni, so in order to go to uni, I had to go and do sixth form. But that was probably my least favourite couple of years. Mm-hmm. I never enjoyed it. I never wanted to be there, but I knew the next step, so I knew I had to do it.
Fair.
Obviously, following that, I went to uni, did events and business management. And as soon as I graduated from there, I got a management job for a local company in Bromsgrove who used to have the Ewe and Lamb. Got some place in Worcester and Cheltenham. So I ran there for about 6-12 months.
What was that, like general manager role?
Yeah, so general manager. So I was only about, I think I was 19 at the time.
Young.
So it was like a wedding venue, had a small hotel. And I did that for about 6-12 months. And I decided to go travelling. I thought I was at the age where it's the only time really I'm going to get to do it properly. So I just backed up, got back from there, and I felt
Where did you go travelling?
I went to Dubai, Singapore, Thailand, all the Thai islands,
Nice.
New Zealand, Australia.
How long did you do that for?
About 4 months.
Did you?
Meant to be backpacking, but it was just a 4-month holiday. Spent my house deposit.
Good times.
Yeah. Got back before I saved again for that.
Brilliant.
And I got back and I just felt like I needed to be in a bigger corporate company. So I joined M&B for about 4 or 5 years. I was general manager there. When I left, I was training to be an area manager. And I'd had enough of the all day, every day, weekends. So I was never seeing all my family, and I'd had enough.
It's a tough job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hospitality's tough, isn't it?
It's just
unless
the
you've been
nights,
in
the
it,
weekends.
though, people don't really know, do they?
You don't get it as it's literally 24 hours a day. Like you can't plan anything.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a manager. It's, if someone rings in sick, you're there. You've got no choice. And it's just hard to get a life with it. Mm-hmm. So then I looked to go into sales in hotels. I was quite fortunate to get a job in it because I'd never been in sales, and I joined Best Western. That was for about 2 years. I was doing well there, and an opportunity came up at my previous role before here, and that was business development manager. So I joined there for about 12 months. I got offered a job for the main franchisee of the company, Wyndham. I was meant to start that. Obviously, it's like a dream role for me. That was like a sales manager for the UK, Scandinavia. And then 2 days before I was meant to join, they pulled the job because of COVID.
Shit.
So I was potentially going into COVID with no job.
That's a shit place to be, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so I ran my old boss, who's based in New Delhi in India. I was like, I'm stuck here. And he was like, just come back. So luckily, he
opened
just
arms.
he just gave me that job back. He said,
That says a lot, though, doesn't
yeah,
it, James?
it does, yeah, because I never left on bad terms, and this is why I'd never leave any job. Any job I've left, it's never been on bad terms.
Never burn the bridge.
Never burnt a bridge. So
Why is that?
you never know, do you, what the future might hold. Never know where you might turn around one day and
Go, you're not good enough.
give you the tin tack.
So it wouldn't be as drastic as that.
No. But you just never know what will happen. Anything can happen in business. And it's sometimes just having something to fall back on if I ever need it.
Do you live your life that way as well?
No, I just like to be prepared for anything that might happen. In that, I've obviously got a wife and family. I need to make sure they're secure. And obviously money is the biggest thing. So if anything was to happen, the worst was to happen here, then I've got something to... I'd know I've got something. And it makes you feel a bit more comfortable.
And so after that exercise, then what did you do?
So I then got promoted during lockdown to operations and sales manager for the group. And then about 12 months later, I was promoted to ops and sales director. So I ran the 2 hotels in full, managed about 150 to 200 staff for about 2 years, and there was changes within the government and changes within the hotels that I just had a personal preference that I didn't want to be involved in.
But don't get me wrong though, like those decisions that were made at that point, like weren't they on you? Didn't you actually bring that business in?
Yeah, I brought the business in terms of I had no choice. It was a directive to organise these contracts from the owners. The hotel market was poor. We were massively struggling for money. We just paid out, just had to pay back, about £1 million in Seaballs. We still had staff that we had to pay, and one thing led to another, and we didn't really have any other choice. The hotel probably wouldn't still be operating now if it wasn't for that particular contract. But obviously, at the time, a lot of things are hidden. You don't see the ins and outs of what a lot of us witnessed, and it's just something that I felt that I couldn't be a part of. And I was away actually with my wife and kids, and we were just discussing it. Obviously, I'm friends with Phil outside of work, and he said, "Oh, there's a potential job. Do you want me to put you forward at Falcon?" Obviously, years ago, I'd looked at working at Falcon. There was just never really an inroad. I'd never had experience. I was on a career path that I was enjoying at the time, and that sort of went from there. I had an interview about a month later, and yeah, that was just over 2.5 years ago now.
And that interview went well?
Yeah, all 3. Yeah, they went well. Obviously, I got offered the position. I knew I was going to have to take a substantial drop at the time. I was under no illusion that was the case. I didn't have any experience in
salary.
Yeah, in salary. I knew I didn't have any experience in what I was about to be doing. In terms of the industry, obviously project management all comes under a big hat to me of a lot of operations. I just ran one of the biggest projects that you can in a hotel. So I knew it was something I could do. It was just learning the ropes. So I knew that was going to be the case. I think it was just a head down, work hard, and push myself then to the next level. And obviously we had chats before I even came on board of how am I going to get there, the time scales, and we stuck to them. I think that's like
Why Falcon, James?
I think you like as I grew up, you hear a lot about like the staff they looked after, the good things about working for the company, the appreciation. And I think sometimes it's got the corporate and family vibe. I've come from quite a big corporate background, but I also wanted a bit of that relationship, obviously with yourself, that we've got that you can build on, as opposed to just working for a commercial person where everything's black and white.
Yeah.
A bit of a mix of that, and I knew it could be a place that I could grow. I've seen obviously like locally, I've seen obviously Phil and Elliot where they've grown in the company. A lot of people have grown just from within. It's never been a case of okay, we're just hiring other bigwig. It's giving people them opportunities to grow as they go.
Phil.
Yeah,
Definitely. And what biggest challenges are you facing in the role like right now?
I think the last 12 months we've really knuckled down in terms of changing the business. Like I said, to build that great business as opposed to what we were. I think it's those changes. I think there's been times along the way we've been very short on the ground. But we've known from previous mistakes we can't just hire because it's busy. We had to wait until we saw that peak to hire and hiring those right people.
And when is the right time to hire, James?
I think you need to wait till you've peaked, and then you carry on with the peak. And then when it plateaus, I think that's when you need to look at the hire, because you're at a point then where it's consistent. You know, okay, we're going to have this work consistently now for this amount of time. Now bring someone in.
So you say sweat first.
You've got to. I think you bring someone in the middle of that, you're either going to not train them properly or lose them because they don't know what they're doing.
Or disrupt the environment.
Yeah, or disrupt the environment
So
you've
we've seen that, haven't
you've created. Yeah, we've seen it a few times over the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all felt it when we got rid of a fair few people at one point, and the pressure was on massively at the time, but I think it's probably, when you look back, one of the best decisions we've made in a long time.
Good restructure.
Yeah.
Good reshuffle.
Right people in the right places.
Yeah. Doing the right job at the right time.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
Indeed.
Absolutely perfect. And what's the biggest failure, or in your career that you've had so far?
Where
did you fuck something up?
I mean, in every job, there's situations where you've made decisions that you think that should have been made differently, but rather than in careers, I think it's more of learning curves as opposed to failures. Unless you do something catastrophic, then it's learning. It's like, okay, that didn't go right this time, so next time I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So in terms of failure, I don't look at it as failures. I look at them as how I've learned
Lessons.
and evolved. And I wouldn't probably be in the position I am if I hadn't made those mistakes. They would have been just the same old mistakes being made.
And how do you foster the culture now? How is that a focus, or is it not?
I think obviously the culture sort of turned into itself. It's everybody. The culture changed, didn't it, about 12 months ago? Certain people in the business went, and that made the culture instantly change, because everyone, I think, in the business respects each other now, as opposed to before. There was dead wood, and there was people who didn't have the respect. And if you don't respect someone, you're not gonna ask them for anything. You're not gonna expect anything from them.
No, it did get a little toxic at times.
Yeah, it did. To a point where sometimes people didn't want to be here, and if certain people were here, then others didn't want to be around, or arguments happened. I'm a pretty hot-headed person, and sometimes you get frustrated and get wound up and lose your head, and you don't really see that anymore from anyone in the business.
That's better.
If there's issues, they're discussed.
Better.
Yeah.
And if you could go back, I suppose, to your younger self, what would that one piece of advice be, or one change that you would have made to your younger self? When you started out,
I think I would have swerved hospitality as a whole.
Would you?
Yeah, massively.
Hospitality, boo.
It sounded great at the time. I think the money you can earn at a young age blinkers people. But it can slowly stop unless you're at some peak level. Then you're not going to be on much more than that until you get a bit older.
Yeah.
So I think that doesn't help. It's an easy inroad as well. So many places just looking for someone to work on the bar, waiters. It's an easy environment to just get sucked into and stay. Like the amount of people I've seen that have just dropped out of uni and thought, no, I'm going to be trying to be a chef.
I mean, you're in a senior position now,
Yeah.
James. You know, what's next for you, James?
Obviously, the next step for me would be obviously a director of the business. We've spoke about obviously the goals that I've got and where I want to go and the time frames, and obviously they're not held to that, but I think between us we've got a plan on when that is and how we go about it.
And do you think like enough people really focus on that, James, or do people just like plod along going through life? Have you planned that out in your head?
Yeah, I've always planned that I want to be as successful as I can, but also keeping that the happy environment as well, that the home, the family, the wife, kids.
Well, that's a good one. Work-life balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think obviously
I'm really good at that.
you're not. You're all float. And I think that's
You're pretty good at it.
I am now.
Like Elliot,
Yeah.
he's good at it.
I am now because it's just working around those, not being so selfish and thinking, well, that as long as I'm here and doing that, then it's supporting home. It doesn't work like that. Like I've seen a couple of days where I've been at home, I'm like, shit, mate, this is hard. Like, it's definitely easy being at work.
And do you do it for them or do you do it for the family?
Do
you do it for them or do you do it for you? Sorry.
I do it for all of us. I work hard to make sure we have a good life. I think this is the only one where me and you sort of, one of the only points I think we ever cross on really is that it's not. Obviously, part of it's for me because it's self-achievement for me, but it's also to make sure that we have a good life. And without them, I don't think I'd do it as much. I wouldn't be as focused on it if it wasn't for my wife and kids.
That's where we are opposite.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't have them, I'd be worse.
I mean, I wouldn't really have much else to do, so I would.
That's how I feel about it.
But
I'd just be like, this is...
But it wouldn't be for that reason. Like,
yeah.
It wouldn't be as dedicated to it.
So do you believe in work-life balance, James?
Yeah. Because I like work, and I love doing things obviously outside of work. I think without that, what you're doing it for?
And you say you think it can be achieved
work-life balance?
Senior level? Yeah,
it can be achieved if you're structured on what you do and stick to it. But you need to, like, I walk around every day with both my phones. Unless we're on holiday, then obviously I take it, I check in on things, and I think that becomes I've always done it.
And do you think to make it at any type of senior level, especially when you're growing up through the ranks, James, that's what you've got to do? Yeah,
you've got to have that commitment, and you've got to realise both sides.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've got a family that have realised that.
And that's why whoever supports you behind you is really important, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's why we don't work on a life of like who brings in the money or anything like that. It's a shared pot. Whatever's earned goes into the same bank and gets spent.
Yeah.
However, because I wouldn't be able to do my job if Lucy was working 5-6 days a week. Just wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be able to go out and get the kids or.
And how do you balance the need for, short-term results with planning for, long-term vision?
In terms of
your career?
I think it's one of those where you need to pre-plan in advance.
Do you reverse engineer? So, do you start at an end point and then work backwards to...
I do, but then I also bring myself back to ground a bit and go, well, be happy with what you've got now. I think sometimes you can get so, well, why am I here yet, or why am I here yet? And I've done that a lot in my career and thought, why haven't I got that job yet? And I'm thinking, well, I'm only, I've just turned 35.
Yeah.
I've still got quite a long way to go. But I don't want to be working forever. The rate the world goes at the moment, I will be, but I don't want to be.
No, great. And do you think that being at Falcon now is your home? You know, how do you feel about coming to work?
I enjoy coming to work. Obviously, there is tough days, there's tough periods, but I enjoy it. And I wouldn't do it if I didn't. I just wouldn't be here. I am quite one of those. Like I said to you before, my last job I could have quite easily. The way that the job was at the time is probably the most money I've ever earned until the last few months. But it's the easiest job I've ever done. It was the same old every day, just easy. But I left because I had no interest in being there anymore. So I don't think it is a case of...
You got that self-preservation of,
yeah.
I need to be able to go out and do this.
Yeah.
And I do that for me, and if I'm not happy, I'm changing.
And there's certain levels of it. Obviously, as long as that structure's there to ensure that I can provide X, Y, Z for everyone, then I could walk and go and do something else at any point. But I think when you're happy and you can see where you can go, I also had no other place to go at my last place. I answered to the owner in New Delhi. I could do nothing else. Maybe get another 10% every year, but that was it.
So if you had to leave that one message to people that are listening, and they're looking at that going, I'm currently a manager, I'm currently, want to get to that senior position. Yeah. What would your advice to them people be?
I think it is structure of where you want to be and how you want to get there, and the timescales behind it. Every move is calculated of the time behind it. It could be something, your next role could be 5 years away. It could be a year away on paper, but you don't want it for another 5 years. It just depends on how quick you want it and how quick you want to move. And that's when you said, obviously, about short-term pain for it. I've always tried to pre-plan what I want, so you don't get that sudden short-term pain. It's, right, okay, in 12 months' time, I want to be doing this. And over that 12-month period, I will show this. It's not a case of, right, things have changed. In 3 months' time, I want to do this now.
And do you think that where does that mindset come from, James?
I think the achievement side comes from, obviously, like parents, seeing them achieve what they have from nothing. It's almost like you want to provide that for them, and obviously, like everything you've had in life, you want to be able to give that to your children and family. And when you've grown up with a lot of things, you don't leave yourself with much choice apart from working hard to keep that.
Totally agree.
I think sometimes it goes the other way with people who are privileged. I had the world. I went on holidays 3 times a year, and I now set that as a precedent in my life that has to happen for me and my family. So I think sometimes it is quite hard. I wouldn't say it's hard. That comes across the wrong way. But it's once you've already had it, it's hard then not having it anymore. So I think to work, you work to have what you've always been accustomed to, and that's what I think I am the way I am.
And what do you think you'll leave on the world, James?
When
you're gone, when you're just dust, what would you like to have left behind?
Stability for my family going forward, and for their kids.
And how would you like to be remembered?
I mean, you know what I'm like. I don't really, as long as my close circle remember me as a decent person, I don't really give a shit what anyone else thinks.
# top bloke.
Potentially at times, yeah.
I love it.
So some would say a lot different. I'd like to think that my close circle would say, yeah, top bloke.
But what was one biggest experience from your whole entire life that you take with you as the biggest lesson?
I'd probably say that very cliche that you never promise tomorrow. Things can be tough, and just to live it and enjoy it. That's what I try to do every week, every day.
Yeah. Show up and be the best version of you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it. Thanks for coming on. Thanks
No
for
problem.
answering
Thank
the
you.
questions.